Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. Frequent viewers of this show know me as one of the biggest fans of Roland/Boss, or Broland as I allow myself to call it. Today we are going to talk about the Boss DR-110 Dr. Rhythm, and it was the last purely analog drum machine released by my favorite music tech manufacturer. This 1983 beauty is considered to be the little sibling of the far more popular TR-606, and while there are certainly some sonic similarities, its design is even more aesthetic. It's hard to say if I can unleash its full potential without the dedicated HA5 headphone amp, but at least I found a copy of the original Roland Drum Machine Rhythm Dictionary. Time to take a closer look. At the first glance, the DR-110 is ticking all the boxes. 80s cave paintings with a nerdy charm, a game and watch style display quite similar to the one that can be found on the TR-707, and I'm not sure if I would call it velocity on a device like that, but the nice turquoise colored rubber pads certainly don't have it. These pads trigger 6 crisp and untweakable analog drum sounds. Kick, snare, hats both open and closed, cymbal, and the best clap sound since Citizen Kane. Fun fact, the Ulinator packed a version of this clap into the RD6. Playing the two hi-hat varieties at the same time produces a slightly different timbre of the instrument. There are no individual levels or outputs for the drum voices, only a blend knob for changing the volume of the cymbal and hats in relation to the other sounds. I don't own a TR-606, but you can find a few very enlightening comparisons on YouTube. The two machines certainly don't sound the same, and while the 606 doesn't have a clap, the DR-110 is missing the TR's toms. The 16-step sequencer is easy to use. Step mode is basic but functional. Tap mode for real-time recording is limited by the lack of a metronome. And the only way to get non-4 on the floor patterns, triplets and shuffle-esque stuff into the machine is by reducing the pattern length to 12 steps, which is okay for me. You can't program patterns on the fly, and playback needs to be stopped every time you switch modes. There's an accent track which not only allows for a modicum of dynamic expression, but is also the only way the DR-110 will communicate with other instruments. It sends out a trigger impulse originally intended for arpeggiators of synths like the SH-101, and all the Arturia and Korg instruments I sent it to wanted to be friends with it. In its original state, the drum machine cannot be synced to other gear, but numerous MIDI and DIN sync mods are well documented and available as DIY kits. Talking of which, the DR-110 is very mod friendly. There are 16 unchangeable preset rhythms and 16 user slots. You can arrange 2 songs of up to 128 bars each, and the unit will suffer from amnesia once you take out the batteries. The line output is based on Roland's proprietary P-Bus technology, which can be used to route external audio sources through the machine and was intended for use with the aforementioned HA5 headphone amp. The times of $5 garage sale opportunities are most probably over, but the DR-110 is still much cheaper than any other vintage analog Roland drum machine. The Boss DR-110 seems like a classic TR drum machine in disguise. Is it the last piece of affordable analog Roland sleeper gear? You have already heard Dr. Rhythm in today's intro tune. Certainly no replacement for the original 707 samples, but the dry sounds can stand their ground. Let's give them a little more space in the first jam. Deep kick, snappy snare, mellow hats and a really nice clap. The DR-110 has Roland TR written all over it. The lack of tweakability is one of the many limitations of the DR-110. I wanna know if we can expand its sonic vocabulary with a few FX pedals. That was sturdy as a Delta Air restroom, but the drum sounds stayed somewhat defined in spite of the over-processing and distorted synth wall of sound. The term underrated is thrown around a lot, but it really applies to the DR-110's clap. Let's give it the attention it deserves in this proto-bass music neo-rave I would release if I had a fully modded D110 with discrete outputs, MIDI and too much time on my hands. I think it has become obvious that I really like the DR-110. It has the funky timbre and analog quirkiness of the 606, but still manages to sound a bit different, which is a good thing given the omnipresence of the classic TR sounds. However, in its original state, the limited sync options, lack of discrete outputs and basic internal mixing don't always make it easy to integrate it into existing setups. I would say there can only be one sensible way of using the DR-110. Get two of them, turn one into an over-modded Frankenstein of a drum machine and leave the other one untouched as part of your retirement fund.
The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only. You should not make any decisions, financial or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisory or even crazier gear nerd.
Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.